Hello, everyone. This is Rebecca with the February 2016 New Moon Reading, New Moon Forecast for the Deep Earth Singing Moon community. And I'm a little bit late. Um, but, these things come in their own timing, in the right timing. And this reading has been very much on my mind for the past days, but we are in a time of real ebb and change and flow. And I think sometimes we have to trust the currents, that if we are blocked from a particular movement or a particular action or a particular event, it's a time of trusting that perhaps, the right time for that thing has not yet come. And that we need to turn our attention to what is it that's at hand? Because very often when we're looking to the future or we're looking to things that we need to get done, the things that we need to put into action, the present is giving us an opportunity to engage with something that needs to be dealt with before we can move forward, in our strongest self, into that thing that we want to be doing, that thing that is waiting for us. So I'll leave that with you to think about as you are feeling a hankering towards a particular event or a particular action, a particular relationship, or a particular purpose. What is it that's in your present right now that's calling out for your attention? And deal with it. Deal with it, whatever it is, because this is a really powerful time still of clearing the past. January, many of us have been through quite impressive and deep lifting and raising up of shadow within the patterns of our lives, which is extremely painful for most of us, for many of us, for all of us maybe. But if these things are happening to you and you are noticing them, that is a really good sign, because when you don't notice it, it doesn't mean that it's not there. It just means that it's invisible to your eyes, that there's not enough light, there's not enough consciousness, not enough awareness for you to engage yourself with that pattern. And as it rises up, as we encounter these things within ourselves, for many of us, these are patterns that go deep and that run back, very far in time, whether into our childhoods or events of many years ago, whether into the ancestral patterns, that we're holding from our own families, or whether we're talking about past life patterns that are coming up. And very often, these things are inextricable. So use this opportunity of noticing. And if all that you can do is notice and bring light to that pattern, bring light to your heart, bring love, to your own space, to your own physical body, to your own self, to your own soul, do that, do that. I invite you to do that. So, as always, the new moon readings, the new moon forecast for Deep Earth Singing Moon, we do this working with the runes. And I will post up a picture of the shape of our reading this month. It is not a casting, but a selecting, a spread of the runes. And we're going to start right at the center. What is this month about for all of us? What's the heart of what it is that we're bringing into being in this month of February and into March with this new moon? And the rune that has come for this is the rune Feu. And I'm getting a real sense of warmth, of light, and of a kind of dragon energy. Luck, wealth and luck. This is what this month is about for many of us, is a generating of our own circumstances. What is it that we need, in order to bring both wealth, and I mean wealth in all senses, wealth absolutely in the form of money and material abundance, but also wealth in whatever form that it means to you, physical health and well-being, the wealth of strong family connection, the wealth of the clan, whether that is blood relation or the clan, the tribe, your own community that you engage with. And many of us will have many communities, whether locally or online. And the question is, what will you do to generate your own luck? What are you doing to bring through your own commitment to change and to the truth? A lot of the time we can feel that luck or wealth or success, or failure are things that reside somehow beyond us, that the lucky ones are the ones who succeed. The lucky ones are the ones who, get the clients, have the money, get to do the kind of work that they love to do, that have happy families or a beautiful, restful, positive home life. It's not true. It's not true in the sense that this is something that comes from the outside. This is something that we can actively engage with for ourselves, but we can only actively engage with this if we choose to actively engage with ourselves in a process of bringing into being. What is the purpose of us being here on this planet? It's not just to simply sit here and receive and do nothing and expect everything to be done for us. It's not the way that it works. Yes, there is an element of weaving in and of being part of community, being part of being a kind of receptacle and vehicle for spirit, absolutely. But if we weren't important ourselves, then we wouldn't be required for change. So this is a time to really come clear on what is it that you need to be doing? What is it that you need to be bringing into being? You've hopefully been shown, over the past few weeks, certainly, some of the patterns, some of the beliefs, some of the expectations that have been blocking you from fulfilling, your true purpose, your true work, your true life. Where is it that we're saying, oh, I'm unworthy of that, or oh, I'm not capable of that? It's untrue. It's time for us all to clear these patterns. It is time for us to get beyond the personal, because the world needs us now, our families, our friends, ourselves, our neighbors, the earth, everything. We're needed now. And so it's time to come clear on what it is that brings you wealth. What is it that wealth feels like to you? What is it that wealth looks like to you? And what actions do you need to be taking right now in order to generate that and bring that into being? Now, I have in front of me, 3 of the runes are in a vertical line. And these are the kinds of lessons and challenges that are at the heart of this month for us. And at the root of this is the rune Dagaz. And it's come to us facing downward, which to me is indicating that it's something that is happening on a very almost subconscious level. It is an energy and a light that's running through underneath the surface. So some of us may not be so aware of it, may not feel, on a conscious level that we are experiencing the level of change that we are in fact experiencing. And I'm seeing Dagaz as a fire running through that ground, running through the ground beneath our feet and burning, helping us to burn away all of those obstacles, all of that shadow stuff transforming it, that stuff that we don't need to hold on to any longer. So the energy is very much there for us, but we may not be accessing it on a conscious level. It looks like to me that much of our work in this month is going to be very much what feels like on the physical plane. This is a time of bringing through committed action. This is a time of bringing through change, in small ways or in large ways. But on that level of spirit, all of this work that we're doing on this mundane level, it's working for us. It is a reflection and a generation of the real deep spiritual level of change that's happening for us right now on a soul level. So just to be aware of that, if you're feeling, that maybe you're not progressing so much spiritually, just know that this division between the spiritual and the mundane, it's a very artificial division. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in the way that we think it does. Everything that we do potentially has a spiritual purpose. And if we don't see it that way, it's a shortcoming of our vision, not a reflection of what is real and true in that. So I leave that to you to reflect on that, and to work with that idea. Now, on the top, the consciousness, the conscious level of these lessons and this change that's coming through, we have the rune Ansus, and this has come upside down, reversed. And I'm getting really two things from this, or a few things from this. Ansus is very much about communication. It is about this idea of divine inspiration and the bringing through of creativity and the ideas and the ideals that are coming to us from spirit. And when I see it like this, I see two things, or a few things, more than two. I can feel that rune as it's pointing down, almost as if it's a sharp edge, a blade that's coming down into the heart of this rune Feu, coming down through the heart of Dagas and shifting up into the physical being, into my physical being, but me as a representative for each of you, that it's coming through us. Real heart of the challenge is, how can we get out of the way? How can we get out of the way of this creativity, this divine spirit that is coming through us, that really threatens to cleave us in two, that goes right to the center of this Feu rune, right into the center of this fire, right into the center of the Dagas rune and the fire that's generated there. How do we get out of the way of that, and how do we bring some kind of harmonious being to this process, to this process of receiving, this almost madness of the divine, the things that come to us from spirit can sometimes be so far outside of the realm of what is normal and comfortable to us that it is a real challenge to integrate that, into our lives. So part of the challenge of this is how not to hold back from that process, how to stop blocking ourselves from doing that, but also as we bring it through to gently, gently, gently harmonize the messages that are coming through with our own capacity to carry them. And a lot of that comes down to the building up of spirit and the building up of choice. Now, we have on either side, on the left and right, in front of us, two other runes, which feels like a part of the journey, a part of the forces that are holding us, again, offering some stability to this process of this month and the changes that are coming through. We have on the left, the rune Perthro, which is come, facing up, facing the correct direction, facing Feyu. And then on the right, we have the rune Algiz. What I'm getting from that is just the word protection. We are held and protected in this process of bringing through, that we are held and protected in this process of change, and that everything that is happening now is necessary. It's necessary for breaking through. It's necessary so that we can enter into new realms, new patterns, new ways of being, and that this month is a real challenge and a real breakthrough for us. The Perthro rune is the rune of fate, of weird. It's also considered to be a rune of birthing or of gaming. What game are you playing? What game will you bring through? What kind of a role, will you take to actively shape this process of your own birthing into the world? Those are some of the questions that are coming for me. And to know that the process of birth, it's a very physical one. It's a very physical one. It's one that is sometimes painful and that has movement going back and forth and back and forth. And it's one that takes commitment and physical action, physical work on the part of the body, and some level of trust, some level of faith, and some level of following through and openness to the process of change that's happening. So, all in all, what I'm getting here is this is an opportunity, for real commitment to making progress on bringing through the physical reality that is entrusted to us, both on a personal level and on a wider level of bringing through change. It's a kind of a month of a testing ground. It's a time of building and changing. What is it possible for us to do? This is a bit what we're testing ourselves on. What is it possible for us to do? Are we going to shy away from the challenge, or are we going to step up and bring through the change and change ourselves in the process? Stepping up in this month, following through on that committed action, being very awake and aware of what it is that is our obligation, and our task to be doing and bringing through, being aware of those places of obligation, of pain, of trust and mistrust within ourselves, so that we can clear, these obstacles, clear the places where we have created our own incapacity to progress, to bring through spirit, to be a part of the change. It's a real opportunity for clearing, but it's also a real opportunity for creating, the wealth in the self, in the personal development of the self, and wealth and well-being in that physical reality. There's a real sense too, of this process, one that challenges us. It's very much a challenging one, but also one where the challenge of that and the fact of us stepping forward into that challenge to meet that challenge, our efforts are supported by the energy of this time, and engaging with that process has great potential for bringing massive change and massive, transformation breakthrough in this time. So I'm wishing you all a really wonderful month to come. And please do come and join us in the Deep Earth Singing Moon community group if you would like to come and share some of what it is that you are personally taking committed action on in this month of February, where it is that you feel challenged and get support, for moving through those challenges and breaking through. We are there for that. And I'm also here to let you know that the second round of the Womb Light program is opening. It is technically open, but I'll have the button up hopefully later today so that you can register. And this time, the Lodge focuses on love. Yeah, so we're going to be doing a lot of clearing of shadow, a lot of rekindling of that womb light and womb fires, and our focus this time is on love. So if you'd like to know more about that, please do get in touch. And so many blessings on your journeys, sisters.